My name is Joan Cromwell, and I'm president of Chelsea Black Community, and I am here with
the treasurer of Chelsea Black Community, CBC. My name is Maureen Lee, and I've been with the CBC, well, how many years?
many years since the onset, probably 2013.
Yes.
Lots of folks are surprised to hear that
it's
we've
been a while.
In existence as an
Definitely.
organization since 2013, but most recently we have become nonprofit and very involved in the community, and we're loving every day of it.
Done a lot for the community, done a real lot. And
Absolutely.
as we talk, you'll see.
Exactly. So sit back and listen and basically enjoy the show with us. We're here today to celebrate the first day of Black History Month 2022. We're excited to be here. We always want to come back to the studio and just have conversations with our beloved community. But we're here today. Today is February 1st. Black History Month kicks off today. And we are excited, as always, to celebrate as a community. CBC always comes to you first and foremost. So it's going to be an exciting month once again.
I know.
Yeah, so we have lots of programming and events. Unfortunately, they will be virtual this year. We thought last year would be the last year, but unfortunately it's not. We're aware that COVID is still alive and kicking.
What I like about all of this is that no matter what, Black History Month will prevail and we will still move on.
Will be celebrated, I hear you.
Will be celebrated,
Absolutely.
whether it's virtual or we're all together. And that, to me, is so important.
And the vibe is always there in person or on Zoom. It's just a great celebration. But I do want to start with the national theme. So we always let you know what the national theme is for Black History Month. And this year, the theme considers it's about health and wellness. And it looks at health and wellness throughout the African diaspora. The 2022 theme considers activities, rituals, and initiatives that Black communities have practiced in effort to maintain health and well-being. It also takes a look at how the American health system has often underserved the African American as well as Latinos. So we look at the national theme and we bring it home to our community, which consists, it's a BIPOC community, right? So we have Black folks, we have brown folks, we have white folks, but we're all in it together. And that's what we always try to emphasize during Black History Month. So within how good is it that the theme reflects on health and wellness? Because that's actually what CBC has been doing for the past 2 years, right? With the COVID clinic and being present and being involved and getting folks vaccinated. We had an initiative, we have an ongoing initiative that basically really focuses on community inclusion and partnership to get our community vaccinated. And the slogan is, let's get vaccinated.
And you did a fantastic job. Fantastic. I've been to a couple of them. And the workers, everybody, I mean, the lines of people going in, it was just awesome.
It's amazing, I think there was over 4,000 individuals vaccinated in December alone. So, you know what, it's
they came out with them numbers, I was like, wow.
Yeah, it's a concerted effort.
And it's the people, and it's also the people of Chelsea. You all wanted to get vaccinated, and you came down and you did what you had to do. And I thank you for that.
Thank you. Yeah, and it takes a lot. You know, it takes a village to raise a child.
Exactly.
And all of the nonprofit organizations as well as the city. You know, we thank our leader, Mr. Ambrosino. Tom, you know, hats off to you because you are a leader that leads all of us. And it's significant and it speaks volumes when who you're leading is truly following you. So I thank you for that. I thank you for stepping up and your team and being involved, because this time last year, we were celebrating the whole community as trailblazers, right? Because we're all in it together. So it's just a reflection of where we're at in the community at that year and celebrating the whole theme of Black History Month.
Exactly.
So we start with, you guys have to visit the Downtown Gallery 456, and the exhibit is beautiful. So it basically reflects on past and present African Americans and folks doing great things. And the tone is that unsung hero, right? Hidden figures, people that were doing great things from the civil rights movement and far beyond, starting from Frederick Douglass, coming up to Martin Luther King, to President Obama, right?
Wow.
So across the hundreds of years of inventors and engineers that we never, ever, ever heard of. So definitely check it out. It's great. Thank you, Mimi Graney, for allowing us to use the space.
Yes.
So we took advantage of it because COVID really didn't allow us to go
Couldn't
into
do
the
anything.
City Hall and
Right.
the art gallery.
Like we used to have, yeah.
Right. And it's under construction, so we basically brought it to Broadway. What better street than Broadway?
And then we
right?
had the little food for everybody to eat. And it was really nice, like family coming together and visiting it. But we still have a gallery, so that's a
we
good
absolutely do. So don't forget to check it out. It's up and running. We'll also have a video. So we're going to be showing pictures of the community. And that'll probably start tomorrow. Our photographer, Sharon Caulfield, we call her our dean. She's putting all of that together. So
She's good.
Yeah,
She's good.
She's the best. You guys all are the best. So it takes a team, and we definitely have it.
Thank you.
So that starts, and then on
February 3rd, 6:30 to 8 p.m., we have What I Hear When You Say. And that's a short film, and discussion explores how words can both unite and divide depending on our own perspective, experience, and interpretation.
That's right.
The facilitators are Candace Perez, and she is the Director of Diversity, Inequity, and Inclusion, Office of Chelsea, Mass. Also, Reverend Dr. George Walters, Ceylon, and he is the pastor of Chelsea's AME Church.
Yes.
They will be the facilitators of this. And I think this is an excellent topic.
Excellent. Excellent. So it reflects on, like last year we had, oh my goodness, Silent Beats.
Yes, you had the short films of Silent Beats, which was also excellent.
Excellent. So this is just an addition to that, and it looks at three things we're going to be looking at and discussing. It's gentrification, which is happening here and now in our city.
Yes.
We're all concerned. So we're going to look at gentrification and what that looks like here in our community. We're going to be looking at appropriation versus appreciation. And it's interesting conversation when you're thinking about appropriation and things that have been going on in Black and brown communities for years and were fads and loved and basically belonged to those communities, suddenly was accepted by a wider community, and it suddenly became the thing, the in thing, in terms of being liked in a society. So that's looking at the appropriation as well as the appreciation, really appreciating culture and celebrating culture in a true sense. And then they'll also be looking at the race card, which is very interesting, and thinking about what that looks like in terms of teaching Black history in schools and critical theory.
Yes.
So they'll be exploring all of that, and who better, right, Mo,
I know.
than Candace Perez.
Yep.
She is our DEI officer here in
Yes,
Chelsea,
she is.
as well as Pastor Slayon, who's a professor at Boston University,
Yes, and he's new here with us too.
as well as Bunker Community College, and has been involved in presentations with us throughout COVID.
With the COVID, yes, and
Yes.
he's done an excellent job. Thank you.
That should be exciting.
Thank you.
And I don't want to give too much away, so you absolutely should join in. And then we'll have a conversation, which is always healthy, and get some great takeaway points.
That's good.
Yeah. And then, so we're smart, right? Because we're doing it every Thursday evening.
Which is good.
Same time. What time?
6:30 to 8 p.m.
That's right. So every event is every Thursday in February. And we try to stick to the same times except for the last event, which will be 6
Usually it's
p.m.
after dinner, so you can sit down, relax, and
Yep.
get on the Zoom with
Yep,
us.
get a little snack,
Yep,
you know, just and enjoy the show and be a part of the event as well.
Exactly.
So February 10th is our next event, and do you want to read that?
Yeah,
And we can talk about it?
February 10th, 6:30 to 8 p.m. once again, which is our health and wellness in Black-Brown communities. Presentation and discussion on activities, rituals, and initiatives toward health and wellness and racial and ethnic disparities in healthcare.
Yes.
And presenter on that is,
I'll pronounce his name.
okay, I'm sorry. I was like, okay.
It's Dr. Namdi Ameshina, and he's
Namdi
an MD
Ameshina.
internal medicine.
Okay.
I'm
sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. That's all right. It's not a name we often hear. He is a doctor at Charlton Memorial Hospital in the Fall River area and definitely deals with communities of color. So it'll be interesting to have him join us and talk about health and wellness, which is just a segue from the national theme and health and wellness in our community and what that looks like and how far we've come, right? And how healthy we are. Because to talk about disparities is one thing, but to talk about where we are in success and like the COVID numbers in our community is another conversation. And that's what we try to focus on, the good aspects of moving forward and being a healthier community. So that's what we want to celebrate and not forget the disparities, but emphasize the success and
That's
wellness.
going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Absolutely. So our third event is going to be February 17th, and that
is 6:30 to 8 p.m. Exploring and Preserving Black History in Chelsea. Community conversation on the past, present, and future state of Black history in Chelsea. Discussion on collection and preserving historical information. Facilitators are Ronald Robinson, Executive Director of Lewis Latimer Society. Sarah Gray Jackson, Director of Chelsea Public Library.
yes, thank you, Mo.
And they will do it. And
They will
to
do
say Ronald Robinson is my cousin, I'm very proud to say that. Love you. Yes, and
That's
he
great.
will be doing that.
That's great. And he is my mentor, so I love him too. Okay, thank you. So yeah, that's going to be the most hit home conversation here in Chelsea. And it basically, you know, there's been some questions and conversation about the history of the Black church. And many don't know that People's AME Church was actually the first Black church in this country, established right here in Chelsea. So it's the oldest AME church in this country, and it was right here in Chelsea, Massachusetts. So we're going to be exploring that, and also Black history in Chelsea from the 1908 fire as well as the 1973 fire. And where did folks go? Where did establishments go in the area that was more, remember the Arlington Street,
Oh my God.
Everett
Church
Ave,
way out, yes.
4th Street.
Yep.
All the little, back then they were not called bodegas, they were corner stores, but they were
Yes.
absolutely alive and present in Chelsea.
Right.
And what happened to that area of quote unquote Blackness here in our community? So we're going to be looking and talking about that, but also stepping it up a notch to say, what do we do with that history? How do we preserve that history?
I know it.
And we thank Ron Robinson, who take my hats off and unduly respect, as well as Sarah Gay Jackson, for getting involved and having that conversation. It's a perfect time to say, let's talk about what we do with this information. Instead of carrying it up here, let's put it on paper and preserve it for generations to come.
They really know it. They know it, believe me.
Oh, my goodness.
You want to know about history in Chelsea,
captivating.
talk to them. They will definitely.
Captivating.
It's very interesting.
Yes, Mr. Robinson is, you know, he talks about it, and it's just incredibly informational and captivating. And God rest his soul, may he rest in peace, our favorite, our beloved, Dookie Bradley.
Oh, my goodness,
The first one Ron talked about was in the library, and Dookie was filming it, and he was living it because he was there. He grew up, you know, on the block with
everybody,
with everyone, So
he's missed.
It was amazing, and it was a great slideshow and pictures, and we celebrated it together. So it's great to, you know, continue that conversation. So that should be very interesting. And then
February 24th, I'll let you do that.
That's the big one.
Yes.
Are you sure?
Go ahead, girl.
Can I get a drum roll?
Take it away.
Perfect.
Go ahead.
Thank you. So February 24th is Black History Month 2022 Community Celebration. We're honoring, let's say it together, Chelsea Trailblazers.
Trailblazers.
Yes. And the theme is, in connection with the national and our community, what we've been doing for the past 2 years is commitment to community wellness and creating inclusive, effective solutions. So that's a lot, and it sounds a little generic, but when you think about those words, it means so much when we celebrate the individuals that we will be. Of course, this event is just the highlight of Black History Month, and we're usually together. There's 300-400 people. We have the best soul food. We're bragging. We have bragging rights.
That's the real. That's
the real deal.
Everybody is there.
Everyone's there.
The food is delicious, but unfortunately, because of COVID, and with
we're on Zoom again.
Grace of God, that next year we'll be able to continue on with doing that again.
And we did promise last year that we would be in person this year. So sorry to fall short of the promise, but know that next year, Up with Hope will be in person again.
Definitely.
So that day they're going to feature tributes and entertainment and keynote speakers and awards, and it's all about what these unsung heroes in our community continue to do each and every day. And I know we celebrated as a community last year, and you wonder, who else is out there? But there's so many unsung heroes right here in our community that we take advantage of celebrating and just, shining that spotlight on, which is absolutely what we need to do to remember the great folks in our community. And Miss Maureen was a Chelsea Trailblazer as well. And I want to say thank you for serving. She's a retired veteran. So, you know what? We appreciate her. We appreciate you. And we appreciate who we're going to be celebrating this year.
Definitely.
And just to say that I know you guys are excited to hear the names of folks that will be celebrated. We're also going to have a keynote speaker who is well known and highly regarded in the Boston area, as well as his wife, has a strong coalition for women and across the world in the continents of Africa, and looking at female mutilation and just uplifting women in terms of in the ministry and being healthy and well. But her husband is Reverend Dr. Ray Hammond, and he's a co-founder of the 10-Point Coalition. He was the previous served as the chairman on the Boston Foundation, and they're both medical doctors in community health centers where they started from in Boston, just bringing health and wellness, and as well as Christian clergy and lay leaders that mobilize the greater Boston community around issues affecting Black and Latino youth. So we are so excited to invite them to be a part of our community on that day, and just reflecting on health and wellness in Black and brown communities, but as well as celebrating Chelsea Trailblazers with us as well. So without further ado, we will let you know who we're celebrating this year. So, yeah. I should have brought my tambourine.
I know.
So the first person is Loira Moore. And this person is a voice for undocumented folks. She's a voice for children and, you know what, pushing for toy drives. She is famous for her Three Kings play, which she carries across cultural lines to educate both children and adults. She's always thinking about how to make life healthier and happier through her service. She stands up and has an enormous presence. Definitely walks the walk and talks the talk.
Yeah.
And Loida has been around for decades here in Chelsea.
Yes.
She's been here for many, many years.
Yes.
And you know what? She came through the vaccine center and she talked about, you know, folks, and I was looking at her and I remembered her. And I remembered her because I always see her in action.
Always.
And over the years, you know, we might be on different streets and stuff, but when you meet up again and you realize she's still doing what she, you know.
She's out there. She's
out there.
Yeah.
She's still doing
She
it,
is.
and she's still reaching out to the community.
Still giving back to the community.
Giving back.
Which is really
so
awesome.
Definitely an unsung hero that we celebrate.
And the next one,
Is,
I want to say,
please,
is Paul Revere Smith.
Yes.
He is an oldie but goodie, and awesome man.
Yeah.
He's out there. He has
I'm
rallies.
a business owner here in Chelsea.
Yes,
Yeah.
he was a business owner. He established the Black African American Club when I was little.
Yes.
He also he sets up rallies for my cousin Leo Robinson, and I'm holding the signs. Love you, Leo, and I'm proud of you. He just gets groups together.
Amazing.
And he's out there, no matter if it's cold or what, he's holding signs, he's getting groups together.
Yeah.
He's just out there, and he's awesome. He's just...
And it speaks volumes when you're, Paul Revere Smith, who is named after Paul Revere.
Yes.
But
he was born on Paul Revere.
Yes,
Yeah.
and he is 82 years young, right? So it's amazing to see that as a young man and a business owner here in Chelsea.
Right.
And then establishing with a group of Black individuals that were residents of Chelsea then to establish the Afro-American Club, the first one here in Chelsea. And then, you know, fast forwarding to 80 years later or 70 years later, he's still in the community. He's still active at his pace in the community.
Exactly.
And that's who we want to be. That's who we want to follow in terms of him paving a trail, which is why he's a Chelsea Trailblazer.
Yeah. And
the commitment
he
is there.
definitely gives back to the community.
Oh, my goodness, yes.
Oh, my God. He definitely gives back. And the wisdom that he has.
Yes.
I love sitting and listening to him when he talks about back in the day. He'll tell you who the Black African Americans were back way then.
Yes.
And to listen to him tell his stories is just phenomenal. And I love listening to him.
And you know, he was showcased by
Yes, he was. Yes,
Darlene
he was.
DeVito in the paper because of the enormous footprints that he leaves behind.
Yes.
And to this day, he's still rallying and calling and getting folks together, and that's what it's all about, community involvement at the grassroots level.
And
so we appreciate him.
as an elder,
Yes.
and I look at him as an elder, that you could go to him for advice and wisdom, and he'll tell you. And he always steers you in the right direction.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Love you.
Thank you. Our next person is Miss Sarah Amman. And she's a young lady, but just an old soul, I want to say, because she is full of grace and respect, and she advocates and initiates for the whole community. When I get on Zoom events and I see Sarah, I know great points are going to be made and productive energy is in the room. So that's what I appreciate. She works with Green Roots. She's also pursuing her master's degree. And just And I am proud to say that I was her nurse when she was in first grade at the elementary school. I know I'm aging myself, hard to believe.
Chelsea High.
No, the elementary school.
Yeah, and Chelsea High.
Yeah, and
so
Chelsea High as well.
Coming up. Yeah.
So she was a 6-year-old, 7-year-old student there. And, you know, years later, again, fast forwarding and seeing folks in the community back then and now, and they continue to give back. So Sarah just, you know, makes everybody feel their worth.
Yes.
And advocates for, you know, folks that are working with her. They also are a big part of the COVID initiative here in Chelsea. And she's just always humble and gracious. And I appreciate her. And she does so much. But you never hear of Sarah Amman, right?
No.
And that's what we're here for. That spotlight should be right on Sarah. So we appreciate all of the work she does and continues to do. And I know she's going to even bring more, bigger, and better initiatives here to our community. So we're blessed. We're absolutely blessed. And I do want to give a shout out to her uncle, Hassan, who works with us at the COVID clinic as well.
Okay,
so,
shout out.
Shout out Hassan. Yes. So our next person, do you want to talk about Miss Nicole Mccoy?
Oh, Nicole McCoy.
Yes.
Now that's my girl.
And she's a member of Chelsea Black Community.
She is also a member of the Chelsea Black community.
Yes.
This is a young lady. I could call her at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning and say, it's an emergency. We need you down here to help us get this vaccine, start putting food out, start doing this. This is a young lady that definitely gives back to the community. And she has a heart of gold, and she's a good soul. She's definitely a good soul. And if anybody, she does definitely deserve the Trailblazers Award. And Nicole, you're awesome. And there's not, I've seen her with Joan.
Yeah.
Joan will call her for the football teams.
Yeah.
Go out and stand for hours. Just serving the food.
90 players.
90 players, making plates of food for 90 football players, then packing it up, putting it on the truck, and then riding over to where the buses were, standing there, waiting for the team to come out. I mean, even with the COVID, working with the COVID, she was out there, going up to Admiral's Hill. She's there. Everywhere we go, there's Nicole. She's in the midst, she's doing her job, and I'm telling you, she's very precise. And when she's got a job to do, she does it. She does it well.
And need I say more? Need I say more? So that's exactly who Miss Nicole McCoy is.
Yes.
And I just want to add, so what do we need? What does a table need?
A table.
Just to be upright. What supports a table?
The legs.
Exactly. So that's all I can say.
Yeah.
Maureen has been very in why we are celebrating Nicole.
Yes.
But I do want to say a table needs legs, and that's what Nicole is. She supports every initiative that we need, and she too is an unsung hero. When you're waking up 4 o'clock in the morning and going to a building to clean it to make sure that it's up and operating in the morning.
Yep.
So we appreciate Nicole, and that's why we are celebrating Miss Nicole McCoy as a Chelsea Trailblazer.
Yes.
A lifelong resident of Chelsea as well, and a family with many generations here in the city as well. Our next person is my friend, Mr. Juan Gallego. We all know Juan. We all love Juan Gallego, and he is just enormous. The only time Juan looks behind is to make sure he left nobody behind him. Exactly. So that's the only time he'll look over his shoulder to make sure he's bringing everybody forward with him. And his work, he actually, when we were discussing him as a nominee, one of the group's members said, he made the first mask for COVID.
That's right, he did.
Was out there before we were ordering boxes and boxes of masks off of Amazon.
Passing masks.
Juan was distributing masks.
Yes, he was.
He was at the sewing machine with seamstress on his own, making boxes and boxes of masks. And then he went up, bumped it up to diapers. So he has a pickup truck that was loaded with diapers and supplies, and he never, ever stopped. So we appreciate Juan, and his work isn't just here in our community. We're blessed.
Right.
He has also
Never
taken
complains.
it to Texas when they had the hurricane.
Yes.
Juan went there and, you know what, got plumbers to come and got a team. And then a notch higher, he goes intercontinental. So he goes to different countries. He goes to Colombia and gives back and has built a school and a hospital. Just, you know what, doing amazing things. And he is a representative of the Rotary Club. And Chelsea Rotary Club has amazing people that we have honored in the past. So we appreciate Juan, and he absolutely will be celebrated. And I'm proud to say, you want to know a fun fact? Yes or no?
Yes.
Fun fact, I graduated with Juan from Chelsea High School class of 1983. So kudos to 83. Okay?
Wow.
Isn't that a fun fact? So please join us. Please join us to celebrate Juan as well. And our last but not least, Trailblazer of the Year, drum roll.
Rochelle Cromwell.
No relation, I swear.
No, she's not. She's not related. Rochelle is, well, I'm going to have to let you speak on Rochelle. Rochelle is
We
just
should share
awesome.
this. So she is the executive director of CAPIC.
Yes, and I'm proud of that.
Prior to that, she was on the board for over 25 years.
Proud of that.
Volunteered on the board. And she stepped in when my mom, may she rest in peace, Emmeline Cromwell, passed away in 1994.
Wow.
They reached out to Rochelle to be a part of the CAPIC board, and she said yes, and she never stopped.
And never complained.
Never.
I've never heard her complain about it, and she always went in, did what she had to do, and got it done. She's definitely an amazing young woman.
Yes, and any person, any resident can call her, and she answers the call.
Yes.
And she basically gives back to the community. And you know what, we say that, you know, if you're hired to do a job, then you do the job, but it means a lot more when you go beyond the job and you continue to do that job on the weekends, in the evenings, in the early wee hours of the morning. And that's what Rochelle does. She is my older sister, and I respect her. I appreciate her, and I'm glad she's being celebrated because from 1994 to now, she's been doing a great job giving back to our community and never looking for the accolades, just always, what do you need?
Exactly.
And basically,
never looking for
there.
anything in return.
Right.
Nothing. Nope. She's good.
Absolutely. And I have to say, all of our Trailblazers, it's so widespread. It's for the whole community. And that's what CBC stands for. We may be called Chelsea Black Community, but we are not only reflective of the Black community. We like to include the Latino community, the white community, the Asian community, as well as the Black community. Because again, we are all one. We're all in the same pot, and the flavor's good.
And if you see, Chelsea now is all different.
And that's what we need.
And we all need to pull together.
Yes.
Because it's a small city, and we all need to pull together.
That's right.
And that's no matter what you are.
That's
we all need to be pulled together.
And that's what it means. That's exactly what it means to be a resident of Chelsea, to be a community person. And I think all of the Chelsea Trailblazers reflect exactly that. And a community pulling together and just celebrating all of us as one. Because we are, what's our logo? One strong voice, right?
One strong voice. You got it.
We are. So we hope that you will join us.
Yes.
I know people are burnt out with Zoom and all that good stuff, but you will not be sorry. We need you to be there. We need your presence.
Yes.
And basically just to uplift all of us as a community in celebrating Black History Month, because it's all of our history.
I remember last year, there was a lot of people on this
Yes.
Zoom. And all of you that joined us last year, thank you. And hopefully you'll be able to join us this year again.
Yep.
It was a lot.
Yes.
I was so amazed. I was so proud to see everybody on there.
And we are have our Facebook page. Please visit that. We thank Chelsea Young Adult Alliance for bringing us up to speed with IT and our Facebook page. And brace yourself, because we are launching our website. So you could tune into February 1st, www.chelseablackcommunity.com.
Yep.
It's amazing. It's informational. We're working on, our COVID initiative. We're also going to be reaching out to the community for workforce development and entrepreneurship. We're definitely focused on uplifting our community during the pandemic, and more so after pandemic, post-pandemic, and what our community looks like, and you know what, making sure that we're healthy, we're well, and we're safe.
Right.
So please tune in and join us. Sorry, Mel.
I'm sorry.
No, not at all.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Not at all.
For additional information, you can contact the Chelsea Black Community email, which is chelseablackcommunity@gmail.com.
Perfect.
If you need any additional information, please
reach out to us. We're here. We're right here.
Yes.
And last, I just want to say we are accepting donations, which make all of our programming and events possible. And they could be sent to Chelsea Black Community, P.O. Box 505-299, Chelsea, Mass. 02150. We love you. We appreciate you. And we really hope you join us.
And thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you
for all you do.
You're the best. Thanks.